Welcome, survivors, seekers, and thrivers. I'm your host, Shari Lee Roberts, psychic medium, energy healer, and living proof that you can transform your pain into power. Each episode, we dive into trauma healing, developing your intuitive gifts, and reclaiming your life. Get ready for real stories, deep wisdom, and a little laughter along the way.
Welcome back today. I have the vibrant high energy intuitive kicking woman Bethany Shelton here today. And Bethany comes to us from Memphis, Tennessee. Hail Elvis. Okay.
Well, hello.
Welcome. Thank you for taking time to come and share your incredible story. And for those of you who do not know Bethany, she or her transformation began after the loss of her only child. But you'll learn her story is anything and far from great. I will there. Thank you again for being here, and I'll finally stop talking and let you share
All right.
about yourself. Take it, girl.
All right. Thank you so much, Sherry. I am sending you so much love from my heart to yours. What a fantastic journey this has been. And I would like to just share my heart with your audience members as well. Before I get started, I just would like to share how powerful each and every being is here in this audience that is on this podcast, that you are the most magical, powerful, magnificent powerhouse this universe has seen. But once gaining awareness of that, boy, you can really shift things, and your reality becomes your playground. So, okay, let me start by okay, this is an experience, a story, a lived part of my life that began in 2000 when I gave birth to my only child, Kevin. And Kevin was one of these children that was absolutely brilliant. I told him at a young age, hey, son, books can take you places that a suitcase can't. And so he really deep dove into everything books and anything with theology, biology, mythology, astrology, just absolutely fabulous. So in 2019, what did we all experience? COVID-19, right? So Kevin had graduated high school, and he scored really high in his ACT. Well, this triggered the military to come and ask him to test with the ASVAB. So Kevin did, and he scored in the top 1%, the top 1%.
Wow.
Well, here's where my world just totally flipped. So in 2020, I'm working a little job, and it's a third shift job. And my manager comes to me and says, Bethany, I need you to clock out. And I was like, what? Clock out? Why? She said, you got people out in the parking lot. I was like, oh, okay,
Oh
whatever.
my
So I
God.
clocked out and I popped the doors open, and what do I see? I see every single one of my immediate family members staring back at me. And when I get to this part, Sherry, it's like a lucid screen pops down, and I am literally, mentally, emotionally, and my body reacts on a physical level to what I'm fixing to tell you. So I pop the doors and I walk out. My mom said, "Bethany, I need you to sit down in the van." And I'm like, "Okay." She looks at me. She said, "Bethany, Calvin has been killed tonight. A driver crossed over into his center lane, hitting him head on, killing him instantly."
Oh my God.
Sherry, it doesn't get any
Oh my
easier at this part.
God. No.
In that moment, I let out a scream so foreign to this body, and I collapsed on the floor.
Yeah.
And, as I'm writing a book, I really deep dove that I started to blame myself, like anger, blame, rage, hurt, shame, sorrow. I mean, all of it, all of it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't protect him. I'm a bad mother. All of this stuff,
Yeah.
came into my mental.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So fast forward 2 days, it's the day of the funeral. And I am in my son's bedroom I'm on my knees on the floor, and I said, God, please. And I don't know how I'm going to have the strength to do what is being required of me today. Please send me some kind of sign that Kevin's okay. Well, I'm walking away from the burial. It's a cloudy day. I look up, and the clouds part and a rainbow pops through. There's my sign.
Yeah.
In that moment, I, I felt something in my heart kind of shift, and I fell to my knees. But here's the thing, Sherry, I didn't realize how big that sign was until a little bit later on in my healing journey. So that next year, that the first year is still kind of a blur because I was just so, in the thick of it. Um,
Yeah.
but I started to absolutely research NDE, near death experiences.
Mhm.
And what I was hearing is what these people and beings were saying, how they experienced spirit energy when they left the body. It was something magical. And I started to notice that I was starting to get a little bit elevated. My emotions were starting to elevate just by what I was hearing.
Yeah.
But here's where here's where it gets entertaining. So after that first year, it was I think it was like around January, February, and I'm sitting on my couch, and I was like, man, I got to go get in the shower. So I go in my bathroom and I pull back my shower curtain, and I look in my bathtub, and what do I find? I find coins, nickels, dimes, pennies, quarters inside of my bathtub. Now, I don't know about you or your audience, but I know I don't shower with coins. I don't have them in my
Oh,
hands. I don't have them in my
no.
pockets. No.
No.
So I
No.
picked up, yeah, I, I picked up one of these coins, and I looked at it, and it had Cavan's death year on it, 2020. I was like, wow, that's interesting. But I wasn't able, wasn't conscious and aware enough to put it together. So
Yeah.
several days had passed, and I go get out of my bed one morning, make my bed as I normally do. That night, Sherry, I go pull my sheets back, and what do I find inside of my freshly made bed? Coins, coins. And I was like, what is going on? So I
Yeah.
still wasn't conscious and aware enough to put it together. So about 2 weeks had passed, and here is the shift. I'm got to vacuum my house. So I vacuumed the whole house, put the vacuum cleaner up, and I come back into the living room. And what do I find on my freshly vacuum floors that were not there because I just vacuumed?
Yeah.
Coins, coins. And I said, man, this is, at this point, I just couldn't ignore it. So I picked up one of the coins. I know, I picked up one of the coins and it had my son's birth year on it, 2000. I was like, what in the world is going on here? So I
Yeah.
called my mom. I was like, Mom, something strange is going on. I'm finding coins all over my house. She said, Oh my goodness, Bethany, your father and I were finding them all over our house too. She said, I think Kevin's trying to communicate with us.
I want to pause for a moment to say death is not the end. It is the beginning of a new journey for a soul. Our loved ones, pets and human ones crossed over want to continue connecting with us. I want to help you make that happen. Through December, I'm offering half off psychic medium readings and energy healing. If in doubt, I'm also offering $44 mini sessions. Connect with me and book on my website at sherryroberts.org/services. Now, back to Bethany's compelling, riveting story.
I said, What? Girl, I hung up that phone and I ran out to my deck. I said, Hey, Kevin, if this is you, buddy, can you show up for me like a bluebird or a redbird? Sherry, the very next day, everywhere I turned, there was a blue jay or a cardinal. Now,
Wow.
I mean, everywhere I
Wow.
turned, these birds were
Yeah.
stalking me. I said, Oh my gosh, this
Yeah.
boy is trying to communicate with me.
Yeah.
So I started to, and so it was, I began when I know, right? I just like chills all come up down your
Yeah.
body. And I
Yeah.
started to really wake up each day with that elevated emotion because I was like, oh, how, how could he possibly communicate with me today? Just getting excited for that possible communication. Well,
Yeah.
so my son came to me and he said, Mom, he said, when I crossed back over into spirit, when I died, I rose in frequency, energy on a vibratory rate. I'm vibrating so high because the body is the densest thing in the physical plane. It is so dense. He calls it his concrete shoes. He said, Mom, that body's like concrete shoes. And I was like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Mhm.
said, but Mom, so when I rose in frequency vibration, you dropped. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you dropped in grief, sorrow, pain, blame, shame. He said, do you see how far it is for us to communicate and I said, oh my gosh. So my galactic, angelic, and indigenous teams came in and they told me, said, Bethany, go take a look at that. Yeah. Go take a
Okay.
look at that. And I was like,
Um,
go ahead.
yeah, you would
Sibling who your galactic angelic team is, and how you know it was them a lot of my listeners don't know about the galactic realm, which
Yes.
is between the human experience and the divine.
Yeah. So here's how I got in contact with my galactic and angelic. It's absolutely amazing. You can't make this stuff up.
No.
So one night uh-uh. So one night I'm asleep, right? And I get woken up at 3:33 in the morning. And I was led and told, I felt that all of a sudden I needed to go outside. Now I didn't know, and this is the thing, getting out of here,
Yeah.
getting out of the mental body and stepping into the heart, and what you feeling is healing. So I had this feeling that I needed to go outside. I was like, okay, sure, let's go outside. So I'm sitting out on my deck at 3:33 in the morning, and I'm just present. I'm aware. I'm not in the mental body. I'm not thinking, because thinking is stinking, really.
Yes.
I'm not, I'm present, I'm aware, and I'm just listening to the frogs, the crickets. I'm looking up at the stars, and I am just vibing. I am absolutely, and I have no idea why I'm out here now. Well,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, this golden orb being flies down, flies the whole 13 acres of my lake and back, and stops, and then goes off. In this moment, Sherry, it was the most, oh, oh, it was the most compassionate,
Uh,
loving, great. It was it's
yeah.
it's human words cannot describe it.
No.
It's not a word
No.
for human, you know.
No.
And in that moment, I said, "Oh my goodness!" Something in my body, being in aura and reality, aligned to that frequency. And so I really began to take aware notice and setting intentions before I would go into dream time, sleep,
Okay.
asking for communication with my teams, with my galactic, angelic, indigenous, and my son, to come in dream time and assist me with any downloads, any knowings, anything that is of my most benevolent outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that will elevate and assist in my most benevolent outcome is what I asked for and setting intentions. Before I knew it, well, right after the year of my son's passing, I started to get like downloads, like information that I had. Because before my son, I had no awareness of energy, frequency, vibration, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement. I had no idea about any of that. This was the stuff that my son studied. But when my son
Uh,
passed, I was starting to then get these downloads. And girl, I just yesterday I was looking at my journals of the stuff that I was receiving, and it blows me out of the water still. The information, the data, the downloads that I was receiving. And
yeah.
so interesting things that my teams, after I had this interaction with this being, and they started to work with me in my dream time.
Yeah.
So when my teams came to me and told me to go research the emotional intelligence chart, so I did. And I'm going to tell you what I found. I found out on emotional intelligence. Now, when we are in grief, grief has a vibration. It vibrates at 75 hertz. 75
Mm,
hertz. Sorrow vibrates at 50 hertz. Guilt vibrates at 30 hertz. Guess where fear vibrates? At 100 hertz. So you mean to tell, and guess where death vibrates at 0 hertz. So you mean to tell me when I am in the mental body, thinking, feeling blame, shame, sorrow, guilt, grief, fear, I am vibrating right next to death.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
we all have an electromagnetic field. It's
Yeah.
an invisible field that precedes you 6 to 8 feet out, 360 degrees all the way around you. Now, when you are operating in grief, sorrow, fear, guilt, your electromagnetic field collapses and restricts in on your body. Now, in time, if you do that enough, it puts the body in fight or flight. Well, guess
Yeah.
what happens when in prolonged fight or flight? Guess what appears? Dis-ease. So you mean to tell me, and we weren't taught anything about an
No.
electromagnetic field. We weren't taught about,
No.
we were taught that you have to see it to believe it. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. That's inverted. You have to believe it to see it. Because here's the thing that my guides came back and told me, Bethany, go research light spectrums. Human beings, we only see 4% of the light spectrum. 4%.
No.
Girl, we are walking, we are walking around here blind as bats. Blind
Yeah.
as bats. Thinking that we see something. And it
Yeah.
no. And that's the thing.
I
But
know.
it was done by design to keep you locked, blocked, and stopped and keeping your electromagnetic field
Yeah.
restricted and constricted in on you. And you are now in fight or flight. You're blaming, shaming, guilt, less than, not enough, worry, fear, anxiety. Oh my God, everything's happening to me, instead of, oh wow, everything's happening for me. Because here's the you cannot interact with higher intelligence, higher frequencies if you are in lower frequencies. That's just, if you're
No.
in blame, shame, guilt, grief, you cannot interact with the higher beings. And guess
Yeah.
where the higher beings resonate with? They are in the higher frequencies, such as gratefulness. Gratefulness vibrates at 900 hertz.
Wow.
Yeah. Joy vibrates at 540 hertz. Love vibrates at 500 hertz. Now, when you choose to feel, think those elevated thoughts, feelings, and emotion, your electromagnetic fields expands out. Therefore, you are absolutely thriving and vibing. You then have communication, you have compassion, you have guidance, you are open, you are flowing. And how do we do that? How do we do that when we've been taught to stay in these lower? And this is what I help my clients with. Okay, we have several bodies. We have a mental body, an emotional body, a physical body, a spiritual body, and a light body, and an etherical body. I'm going to just go over these two bodies, the mental and emotional. So when you find yourself thinking a thought that isn't of what you truly wish to experience, pain, blame, shame, what I get my clients to do is gain awareness of the thought. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Just allow it to come in and be like, okay, yeah, yeah. Because when you pay attention to your thoughts, when you catch it, you can then say, okay, I'm aware, drop into your heart. When you shut the mind off and drop into your heart, what do you get? Nothing. You get presence. You get choice. You can then choose to think and experience what it is you truly enjoy. When you are conscious and aware and present and have choice in the each now moment, you are no longer a victim of anything.
Yeah.
You aren't.
I agree. And when I came to that realization that all of my inner narrative was very low vibrating.
Mm.
So each time a negative thought came, I countered it with a positive one that's higher vibrating and in alignment with my higher self. And I teach my clients that it was astounding to realize when I began doing that, I stopped counting at 100 negative thoughts in 1 hour. So
Yes. Yes.
it's not an easy shift, but if, like you said, you're committed, your intentions are to shift your energy, it happens. It just does.
Mhm. And that's one thing I assist my clients with too, is that, if you want to see a change, you first must be the change. There's
Yeah.
nothing outside to fix. It's all within. And going
Yeah.
within is the most rewarding, because my personal belief is that I came here to know thyself. That's my mission, is to know thyself. And when I gained awareness of, I did not have to choose to grieve anymore and sorrow, that when I flipped that around
Yeah.
and found compassion and grateful and guidance and love, that I expanded out and I was able to communicate with my child. I could communicate with him just like I'm talking to you right here, right now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't lost anything. I've gained so much.
Yeah.
But getting out of that that we were taught, that
Yeah.
in order to show that you miss your loved one, you grieve. And believe me, let me give you a story. On Mother's Day this year for me, so Mother's Day come around, and I could have chose and said, oh my God, my son's not here, what am I going to do, and then had all that blame, hurt. I could have chose that, but
Yeah.
no, because I know how this realm works. I know how all communication works. I was like, nope. I said, I said out loud, I said, hey, Kevin, hey, buddy, it's Mother's Day. I sure do need you to show up
Yeah.
and show out for Mom today.
Yeah.
And as soon as I did, I walked out of my garage. And when I did, the most beautiful bluebird flew into my electromagnetic field, 3 feet in it. And in that moment, that bird was there to share its frequency, its vibration, its energy with me. Because if it hadn't, it would have flown in another tree, in another yard, on
Yeah.
another fence. But he
Yeah.
flew 3 feet into my field. And that
Yeah.
was my Mother's Day gift. And I'm going to tell you
Oh.
what, I still get to cherish that Mother's Day gift because it was so powerful. And that's another thing, like I help my clients with, you know, um, looking at photos. When I look at a photo of my son, my son's photo, he's always smiling. He's always smiling at me. That's a frequency, that's an energy. That is a frequency of joy, happiness, and love. When I look at that photo, I don't see sorrow, loss, and pain. I see the photo of him smiling, and that is a frequency that I still get to communicate with. The frequency
Yeah.
of love, joy,
Yeah.
happiness. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's big, it's huge, it's transformational.
Oh, no, it is. And I think that the biggest part of your story, all of our stories begin with changing our views on death. There really is no death. It's a soul whose energy just passed from this existence into another. That is how it works. You have conveyed that so perfectly. Thank you for saying it, for clarifying it.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is no death. It's a
Death is the illusion.
transition. That's it. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
death is the death is the illusion, because here is the thing. Yes, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It only transforms. And what are we? Are we infinite beings with a body? Yeah, because the body dies, but not the being, not the soul. The soul
Right.
just
Right.
transforms into another dimension, another
Yeah.
realm,
Yeah.
and of higher frequency. And so for me, I when I gained the awareness that all I was doing was mourning a body, a shell, that's not my son.
Yeah.
My son's energy, my son's spirit and soul, I can still can communicate with him just like I am right here, right now. So,
Yeah.
and here's another thing that my son came and told me. He said, Mom, he said, you and I had a soul contract. He said, we made this soul contract before, Mom, you embodied. He said, we agreed that I was going to come in as your son and give you the experience of love, joy, and understanding, and the grief, loss, death, separation. He said, Mom, that's for your soul's evolution. And I was
Yeah.
like, what? He said, Mom, how fun would the test have been if you knew all the answers?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, oh. He
Bam.
said, so Mom, you
Bam.
just forgot you just forgot the whole storyline, the whole experience, the agreement of it, because you embodied. And when you come into this realm in the
Yeah.
physical plane, when you come in, you lose memory of, yeah.
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 I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
My
Mic drop.
Yeah.
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 So
That was another key element of my healing and my clients is realizing we intentionally chose the lives that we did in this experience for our soul to grow. It's predestined. There's but do you agree that when we stay in that low vibrating place, the opportunities to learn and change just keep on coming.
Yeah, but here's the thing that some people are, they're not here on a soul's evolution journey. They are what I like to, um, they're just like I call them placeholders. They're not here to expand. They're not here to expand. They're here to hold the 3D matrix in place. They actually enjoy the dopamine of the low frequency thought forms. The negativity, that's all that they thrive on. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot
Yes.
of, I could
Yeah.
go on about a lot of things on an energetic level, such as parasites, cords, agreements, contracts, oaths, that they've agreed to in all time, space, place, and dimension, and that keeps them locked, blocked, and stopped, and yeah, passed down from generation to generation
Yeah.
too. So that's one thing that when I work with my clients, I go in on an energetic level and see what they have, such as cords, bounds, tethers, uh, soul contracts, agreements, oaths, and go in, because when my clients get to me, their cup is full, already full, and I'm talking about on an energetic level. All that that's all that I work with is energy. And
Yeah.
so when I go in and I take a look at it, and I extract what is no longer required for the soul evolution, if that's what the soul's journey is to evolve, and then we pull that out, and then that's when an infinite amount of possibilities can take place. New awarenesses can come in once you energetically pull that out. And also, we start to work with new neural pathways,
Yeah.
getting that in the brain, and also work with subconscious programming, reprogramming. Yeah.
What do with you do when you recognize a client is a placeholder? I have my own,
That's the thing.
uh,
That's the
you know, thing.
that's the
I
thing.
want to know
Yeah, yeah.
yours.
No, that's a great question, because I will give them tools, keys, fundamental things to do, and they just won't get it. They will
Yeah.
not be able to process, gain the awareness. It all becomes frustrating, aggravated, agitated, and they are unaware of the awareness that is being said. So I just tell them, I don't think your soul's is, well, I don't, it's not a think, I feel. I feel that you're, and their teams will come in and say no, because I pick my clients. If I don't feel like my work's going to benefit you, I won't accept payment. I'm like, no, I just don't think this is a match, because this is an energy exchange, on an energetic level. And if I feel that my services, no matter what I do, is not going to get you on that right course, then I'll just decline the client.
I do too. Um, but also there are some that need to hear
Hmm.
and need that energy
Hmm.
healing to get a glimpse of what is possible. So their team will say, oh, absolutely do it. We have things we want them to know. And
Hmm.
some of these ratings are like busting. It's almost hard to tell them, well, here you go. This is what your team wants you to know.
Mm-hmm.
And what they choose
Mm-hmm.
to do with it is up
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. And and any downloads, any awarenesses that I give, communications from their teams, I don't mind sharing at all, at all.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's really interesting because when you take a look at frequency, vibration, and energy, like attracts like. So when you're operating in these elevated states of awareness, you're only attracting being other beings that are of somewhat of the same caliber. Somebody that is absolutely really low vibing, just hates life, hates everything's happening to them. They're a victim. Somehow
Yes.
they will not see my work. It's it's
Yeah.
all about um you know.
They are is an excellent point.
Mm,
And I have been asked that and said, well, only people who are curious and learning are calling me or getting in
mhm,
touch with me or being
mhm,
led to me. There's an
mhm,
awareness level there. Otherwise, they would never come to us. Definitely. Well said. Oh, I am so bummed that the hours almost over. I'd love
I
for you to come back so we could keep talking, but more
I would love that.
spiritual the other realms,
Mm.
Sam. But for today, what are some words of wisdom that you would like to impart to people who are grieving?
Yeah, I
Children.
would give, yeah, my words of empowerment for people that are grieving is to absolutely feel it all. Feel it all. It's, feeling is healing. And absolutely drop the mental chatter because the mind the mind likes to drive the bus, and I'm gonna tell you what, the mind it's a horrible driver. It's a horrible
Yeah.
driver. When you are,
Yeah.
it is a horrible driver.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
once you start to change your thought processes and your actions and your emotions, I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you what, you will then find so much peace and love and joy, and you will then become so almost addicted to the quietness,
Yeah.
because when you drop into your heart and you are feeling and you are operating from within the heart space, you are a different human. You are different than most anybody walking around on this planet right now, because they're still trying to figure it out, be a good human, get the right answer, blame, shame, guilt, all of
Yeah.
that stuff that we've done. Y'all, we've done that for so long. Let's do something different. If we want to see a change, we got to be the change, and being the change is operating from your powerhouse, and that is your heart, without the mind. So that's what I would encourage. If you find yourself crying and grieving, know that that's okay. but feel through it and move through it. Don't stay stuck there. Don't allow the mind to keep telling you to keep doing this same thing. Feel it and go forward. Yeah.
That is true about any feeling or energy, good and not so good. Let it in, acknowledge it, let it go.
Feel it all.
Feel
it all.
Beautiful.
Feel it all without the story, without having to make a story in the mind, the pain loop and then storytelling, because you'll get blocked and stopped when you do that. Just feel and heal and allow and accept. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is your powerhouse. That is how you step into a new, different realm and possibilities.
Amen. How can you contact you?
Yeah. So if you want to, have a conscious conversation with me, the best thing that I can give is my time. So you can go to my website, like a bumblebee, BEE, limitlessnow.com, and book a free call, and let's go in and have a conscious conversation. Let me take a look at your field, and I can do a clearing. Let's just have a conscious conversation. And also I started this new podcast called Holy Shift Balls, where I talk to all the thought leaders, the entrepreneurs.
Love
Where yes,
girl.
I know it. Holy Shift Balls, where we talk to all of the thought leaders, the entrepreneurs, the healers, the shakers, the holistic doctors that have had shifting moments in their life that has allowed them to shift through the process and come out into their purpose. So that right there is amazing. They can follow me on Holy Shift Balls at YouTube.
I want to come on. I want to be on.
Yes.
Yes. I'd love it. And love that name. Oh my God, you are
Yes.
a gem. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Did totally rock it. You did.
Thank you for listening. If today's conversation resonated with you and you're ready to explore your own healing journey or intuitive gifts, I'd love to work with you. I offer psychic medium readings, energy healing sessions, and intuitive development guidance at shariroberts.org. And if you're not quite ready for a session, but want to be a part of the conversation in a supportive community, join my private Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Shari Lee Roberts. Until next time, remember, you're never alone.